2024 felt like a year of self-discovery for me, and it was also the year I rekindled my love for physical journaling. So in this video, I'll be going over all the journals I plan to keep in the year 2025.
The first journal I have here is this mini journal from ℍ𝕗. I picked it up during their Black Friday sale, and it's meant to be an A6 journal, but I definitely think it's a bit smaller than A6, and the intention when I bought it was to use it as a media journal, so basically to track everything that I am watching, because I've been really selective about what I watch since I prefer to spend most of my time reading and on my hobbies. I don't really get as much screen time, and the little that I've been able to watch in the past year or two are things that I really enjoy, and I just want to be able to document those somehow. But this is much smaller than I expected, like I said, so I decided to use it as a finance tracker instead. So I kept a bullet journal last year, and that was a section of my bullet journal that I used very consistently every month. So I like the idea of just having a different journal to track my finances. It didn't really require much of a setup, or I decided not to do much in the way of setting up for it. I just have a title right here to show that it's a finance tracker, and since it's so small, it goes with me everywhere, and I'm just gonna flip through this real quickly so you don't see everything that I've tracked in it so far. But yeah, we're still only about 2 to 3 weeks into the new year, so there isn't much going on in the journal so far, but it's something I'm going to be using for quite a while, as there are so many pages and there's only so much I can track in the way of finances. So that is the first journal. The next journal here is from Archer&Olive. I also picked this one up during their Black Friday sale. I actually picked up 2 journals from Archer&Olive, and the other one will be the last one I'll be showing in this video. But this is their A5 spell book journal, and it has blackout dot grid pages. So initially, I picked this up because I wanted the Neapolitan notepad that they have on their website, I believe is what it's called. And that notepad basically has white craft paper colored and then black dot grid paper that you can use however you want to use it. But by the time I was ready to check out, it was out of stock. So I bought this as a replacement for just the black dot grid paper that came in that notepad. But now that I realize that the journal I'd intended to use as my media journal cannot be used as a media journal, I'm considering using this in place of that. And that was also partly inspired by a YouTube channel, a journaling YouTube channel that I watched very diligently, and I just enjoyed their content last year, which is Savannah Scribbles. She used journals with black dot grid pages in all of her journaling, I believe last year and then the year before that, so 2023 and 2024, and I just loved watching how creative she got with setting up her journal pages in those journals. So I like the idea of maybe giving that a try this year. I'll admit that I am a little bit nervous about it just because it's black and, well, it's not something I'm very much used to, but I do like the idea of that challenge, and it's not like I'm watching a whole lot of things anyway, so it's not a journal that I'll be using as frequently as other journals that I use. So I'm definitely considering it. I'm about 75% swayed towards using this as my media journal right now, but the other 25% I'm probably just going to get another very simple book from Amazon or something that I can use as my media journal instead, or maybe I'll just track everything I'm watching on Notion. I don't know, I'll think about it some more, but yes, that is this journal. The next one here is Hobonichi Cousin. I actually did the unboxing for this separately right after I got back from my trip to Japan, because I was so excited to open it and start playing around with it. So I'll insert that video here, and then I'll come back and flip through the setup of the journal and how I've been using and enjoying it so far. Okay, let's do this. This video is to go over my 2025 planner lineup. I don't have them all here. The rest of them are on order, but they're on the way. What I do have here is a Hobonichi Cousin planner for the year 2025. Bullet journaling really worked out for me this year, but I do want to consolidate some of my journaling into one journal this year, which is why I'm trying out the Hobonichi for 2025. And I was lucky enough to be in Japan earlier in the month, so I went to a Tobichi store and I picked up my copy in person, as well as a cover and a cover and cover. And I believe these are I can't remember what they call these cards, but they're so when you use fountain pens in your journal, you can stick them under the page that you're writing on, so the ink doesn't bleed through, I think is what it is. But this is the Cousin. I've just been too impatient. I was ready to open this up so I could stare at it until the bits and bobs that I ordered to set it up arrived. I picked a pretty plain cover because none of the other ones that were in the store were really speaking to me, but the cover and cover that I picked out for it has a bit of a pattern on it that I think will look really nice. with this cover. So this is the cover on cover that I picked out, and I'll just show you what that will look like and call it a day until the other journals arrive and I am ready to set up the Hobonichi Cousin. That is the wrong thing. Oops, it's all over the place. Oh, right, this is what I'm trying to grab. What part is the front? I want to see this part. So probably go something like this. Well, I'll figure that out off screen, but this is what the cover will look like after I put the cover and cover on it, which I think is super cute. And then the cousin will just go in here as well. Isn't that cute? I'm so excited to use it. Okay, that's it for today's video. Or at least the filming session for today. I'll come back when my other journals are here. Bye! Okay, so this will probably be a little bit messy. This is a ruler from an old journal. I have a bunch of stickers that were actually mostly extras from different shops that I ordered from on Etsy. So those are nice, and I just have them in the pockets of the cover here. I have leftover of the vellum that I used to cover the front and back of the Hobonichi Cousin. I will bring it out right here so you can see what that looks like. Oh, I keep forgetting that. Shoot, I hope I didn't rip the pages. I keep forgetting that the bookmarks are attached to the cover and not the journal itself. This has happened to me a couple of times, actually. Okay, we'll just remove those, okay? So that is the back of the journal. I use this very cute fall-inspired vellum that I picked up from Etsy. And then I have the Spy Family writing pad in the back, which I usually just pop in the back of my cover right here. And then in the front, I've done a mix of that same vellum and a bunch of like craft paper and other paper to cover the front. I stamped the numbers 2025, and then I have some notes here. I just wrote about like memories. So the first one here says, memories are the timeless treasures of the heart. We remember moments, we do not remember days. Take care of all your memories, for you cannot relive them. And then here it says, memories are better than diamonds and nobody can steal them from you. I just really loved those, so I wanted to stick them on the front. And the rest of my setup is actually pretty simple. I've just been sticking random stickers here. This one came with the package from an order that I picked up from a small shop that I found on Instagram. So it's a little ℉𝕁𝕍 sticker. This is a Kuromi sticker, Hello Kitty, and then this is a ℉ sticker, and then a Cozy Reader vellum sticker. So that's about it. And I have like a small 2025 cover right here. The rest of it is just pretty straightforward. I guess in videos like this, people usually go over what they plan to use, all the different sections of their Hobonichi for. I got a lot of inspiration from Coffee Monsters Go. So Helen, she was the one whose Hobonichi content I've watched the most to inspire me to actually pick up a Hobonichi to use this year. And a lot of how I'm going to be using my Hobonichi I've lifted from how she uses hers. So this will be like an index page where I just use it to write like a short summary of what I am tracking in my daily pages. For the monthlies, just highlights and important items. I'm also going to be using it as a social media tracker of sorts. So writing things like when I'm going to be filming and posting on like YouTube and Instagram. You can see that I have like a pen, what do you call this? Like a guide for the different color of pens I'll be using for different things. So I have like YouTube, Instagram, self-care, and then for cleaning, those are different things that I'll maybe try to track in this monthly pages. And then for weeklies, I think this is the part of the journal that I'm struggling with quite a bit right now. For the first week in the year and a little bit of the last week in 2024, I just did swatches of a bunch of stationeries I'd recently gotten. And then I also have swatches of some pens that I'm using to track different things in my reading journal. So those are these two. So that made this week get filled up pretty quickly. But for the other 2 weeks, honestly, I'm not sure how I want to use it. So I'm still playing around with that a little bit. The only thing I'm pretty sure I want to use it for right now is just tracking like daily habits and then my sleep and how long I'm fasting daily. But otherwise, I'm honestly just not sure what I want to use it for. And then my daily pages is most likely what I've been using for the most part. I didn't really do any setting up for the whole year. I'd gotten like a bunch of stationaries over Black Friday and I was just unboxing them when I got back from my trip, and I did a bunch of swatching on like empty pages in the journal. So that's what you have here. I got some stuff from the washi tape shop, and these are basically all swatches from a lot of those sets. Same thing here. This is from Simply Gilded, and yeah, it's honestly pretty boring here, and I didn't really start getting into using the daily pages until the 2nd of January, and I've honestly been just really enjoying it and sticking whatever and everything into the page and just trying to represent what's going on in my life and in my day. This is one of my favorite pages that I've done so far this year. So if you are a K-pop fan, I love 17 with all of my heart. They are my ultimate group. ℂ𝑐𝔸ℕ recently had a comeback, and I loved the design and the colors for that comeback. So I tried to duplicate it on the day they had their comeback, and that's what I have here, as well as a picture from one of their promotional videos. And I just loved that comeback. Made me so happy, and I just wanted to represent that somehow in my journal. So this is the memory keeping aspect of this journal, and I'm just realizing that I forgot to say something. I decided to get a Hobonichi Cousin as a way to consolidate a lot of my journaling from last year into just one journal. So I had a different journal where I used to write about like my emotions. I had like a different journal for junk journaling. I kind of had a different journal that I also used for memory keeping and stuff like that. And then I also had a bullet journal. So those are like 3 to 4 different journals. And this is basically just like a catch-all for all those things. I'm using it for memory keeping, junk journaling, and writing about my day or my emotions, what's going on in my life, but also as a planner. So I'm really enjoying that. So the left side of the page I use for my to-do list, and then on the right side of the page, if I don't already have something to write about, I've just been using prompts to kind of write about something. But I think I've used prompts like 3 times so far this year, and today is the 17th, so not a whole lot. And I've just been really enjoying trying to fill up this blank pages so far. So yeah, that is about it for the daily pages. And for the notes, I just figured out how I wanted to use them. So I think for this page, I'm just going to do like a wrap up for 2024 here. And I'm not doing this yet, but I've decided that I kind of want to do like a memorable, like most memorable moments of the year on these next 4 pages. Whoops, did I count this incorrectly? Okay, yes, these next 4 pages. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, I'm going to try to fill out what was memorable every month on each of these pages. And each page will be for each quarter. So Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. That probably doesn't make a whole lot of sense now because they're blank pages, but maybe I'll remember to show you what it looks like at the end of each quarter, or maybe at the end of the year. And then this last page will be like a planning page for 2026. The rest of the Hobonichi, like the rest of the stuff that comes in the back here, I don't really have anything I'm planning to use them for, so I'm more than likely just going to leave it blank, like the timetable, graph paper, and then the favorites and my 100 page. My 100, I thought about using this as a garage list, just very temporarily. I know, it was just a joke, something I was thinking about very temporarily, because 2 companies have already pissed me off this year, and that will be 7 Seas because we did not get a special edition for Stars of Chaos, and Ticketmaster. Those motherfuckers. I was trying so hard to go to the Taemin concert, and scalpers are ruining it for some people. I refresh my page, that website, every day to see if the price for some of those tickets have gone down, and they haven't. I am so pissed off. Like, it's actually really annoying. And I'm just gonna stop thinking about it now. But obviously, those are things I feel very passionate about, and I just thought having a garage list to record those things might be nice. So who knows, I might still use this. I doubt I'll have up to 100 companies that I'm holding a grudge against though, but who knows, I don't know, I'll think about it. But yeah, that is it for the Hobonichi Cousin. And now the final journal. I saved this one for last, mostly because I thought about filming the entire setup for this, but then I started doing it and I realized I was going to make this video stupidly long, so I decided against it, and I only set up my cover spread for January. And so I'm going to move to that portion of the video and then come back and do a flip through of the entire setup for the reading journal. So at the time when I filmed this portion of the video, I wasn't done setting up my tracking spreads at the beginning of the reading journal, but I did have a pretty good idea of the theme I wanted to use for my cover spread in January. So I already picked out some things like my color theme. It was going to be blue to match the cover of the journal. I already had cards with the name of the month and my TBR written on it, and I picked out my stickers and the washi tape I wanted to use. Pretty simple. Everything you can see on the screen right now is pretty much what I'll be using to set up the cover spread. And now moving on to setting up the spread, I'm going to fill in the letters that I already wrote out for January with a light blue Tombow dual brush pen. And then I'm going to highlight the outside of the letters with a dark blue pen, which is what you can see me doing right now. And I was trying to figure out the most comfortable surface to do this part and ended up moving back to the way I'd started in the first place because that ended up being the most comfortable way to do this. But yeah. I made a little bit of an error there and I end up going in with a white gel pen to clean up the mistake, and it did such a beautiful job of erasing it. It's like it never happened. I love it. Then I'm also filling in the flowers I drew inside of each of the letters with another dark blue marker. I think this is a Zebra Click Art marker and they're retractable. I bought a shit ton of them while I was in Japan. We're not going to talk about it. I'm going to do the same thing with the other card that I already set up prior to filming this video. So that is my TBR card. I already had swatches for all the colors I wanted to use to fill out the letters, and I'm basically just going in with all of those colors right here. And I'm writing all the titles that I plan to get through that month in my blue Muji pen again. Once I was done filling in the title cards, it was time to stick them down, and I already marked out the points on the page where I wanted them to go. So I'm going to stick them down on those points, and then I'm going to go in with 2 different types of washi tapes to outline the area around both cards. It will make more sense when I get to those points where I'm filling them in, but first I'm going to erase the lines around the cards that I drew for the outline of the cards, and then I'm going in with my first washi tape, which is kind of a light blue thin washi tape, and I'm just going to use it to outline those lines that I just erased for both cards. And these lines are not going beyond where the cards start or end, so they're just kind of outlining it very roughly. And I'm going to do the same thing for the TBR card on the bottom. So that is it for this thin washi tape. The other washi tape I'll be going in with is the larger one that I'd shown earlier. I'm just basically using this washi tape to fill in the spaces between the cards and the thin washi tape. This also requires quite a bit of laying down and cutting, so I made sure that I took my time with it, which it doesn't look like that right now because the video is sped up by like ×4, but yeah. I'm also done with putting down the other washi tape. I really like how this turned out, and I wanted to go in with some of the stickers. I love this sticker set. I did struggle a little bit with where to place some of them, but I made it work somehow.
did end up adding some more stickers not shown in this portion of the video, but I decided to forego that part of the setup at this point and started filling in what I had on my TBR. So the top part of the TBR were titles I carried over from 2024, and then the bottom were things I wanted to read in January of 2025. So once I filled that in, I was pretty much done with filling out both cards, and then I decided to write a quote underneath January. I believe it says, "In the end, we all become stories," and that was by Margaret Atwood. And I'm also going in with that dark zebra click art marker to do a little bit of doodling just to make sure that the page is not too bland and there's a little bit more going on it. That is pretty much all I filmed for this portion of the video, and then I'm going to jump back to my flip through of the reading journal. Okay, now to flip through the setup for the entire journal, starting from the cover page right here, the "This Book Belongs To" page. I just covered the lines that are usually drawn there with some stickers, craft paper, and I wrote my name right here, cut it out, and stuck it on there as well. Very simple and straightforward. I set out to set up this journal using the color of the journal itself, so like blue and like a very wintry theme, because I believe that is the name of the journal. But then I received this washi tape set from the washi tape shop, and no, this is from Notebook Therapy actually, and I decided against it because this is just such a gorgeous set. It's like cats and books and magic and witchy things and books, and I just loved it, and it made my setup really, really simple and straight to the point, because this was pretty much all I used for setting up in the way of like washi tape, stickers, and everything. So yeah. Okay, back to going over the setup. So for my cover where I wrote reading journal, very straightforward. I have reading journal right here, some craft paper that I stuck down, and I wanted to do like a mini bookmark right here to write 2025, and I've stuck it down. Oops, one part of it has come off, but I wanted to show that it was meant to be like a bookmark. And after I finish filming this video, I'm going to stick it down because I don't like the fact that it's moving around this much. I'd started using the same stamps that I used to stamp the numbers 2025 on my Hobonichi Cousin, but then I quickly realized that I didn't have enough room to stamp all 4 numbers, so I actually drew out the rest of the numbers myself, which is why it looks a little bit mismatched. But honestly, I don't really care. It looks just fine to me, so I'm gonna leave it like that. And yeah, that's the cover spread. And then for like tracking spreads, I don't have a lot of them. I tried to stick to spreads that I can really see myself using. So I have like a reading tracker, and right now I'm trying to read 75 books. And when I say 75 books, I'm not counting web novels that I'm reading online, webtoons, manhwa, all of that stuff that I'm reading online, manga volumes, none of that stuff. I'm talking about like physical books, novels that I'm going to be reading. I want to try to read 75 of them. And I have a guide here, or a key, I guess, for the colors I want to use to track or fill in the numbers for every month. And those were the swatches that you saw in my Hobonichi Cousin. So that's for the reading tracker. And then I also have a section for anticipated releases for every month. I actually had one that I was really looking forward to in January that I haven't written down here, and that was Immortal by Su Lin Tan. It's already out at this point. For February, I have Fate of the Five, and then for March, I have Scorpion and the Scorpion and the Night Blossom. And I have an advanced reader's copy for that, so I'm going to try to read it in February. Yeah, but again, very simple spread and setup for that one. I think this was probably my favorite. Am I jumping the gun a little bit here? No, I am speaking too soon, but okay. This is my 2025 hopeful spread. It started out as a 25 books in 2025 spread, but I quickly realized that I had more than 25 titles that I wanted to pick here. So I just changed it to 2025 hopefuls, and I have 36 titles here. There is some manga there, which is why it's way more than 25. Let's count how many manga series are actually there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So 29 books and 7 manga series that I am planning, or that I would like to read in 2025. And then this page is my year in pixels, I already tried to read every day, so this is more about tracking how many pages I'm reading daily, or how many hours of listening I'm getting in daily. And again, I have a key for all of those statistics right here.
I haven't figured out what I want to use this section for, but I'm just going to leave it blank in case something comes to me in the future. But if it doesn't, I'm probably just going to go in with some more stickers or little doodles here and there. And I have a bookmark there because that's a section of the journal that I have to go back to quite frequently, nearly every day. So yeah. Okay, this is actually my favorite double page spread that I set up in this journal. So I have a bookish bingo. I'm not calling it a book bingo because not everything is related to reading. I have some bookish aspects to it, like visiting a new library, visiting a used bookstore, donating books to a free little library or to a bookstore, doing a declutter of my physical collection and stuff like that, which is why I decided to call it a bookish bingo instead. And I think we all know how bingos work, and I'm really excited about filling out all of those different prompts. And then I have a section for buddy reads. I'm trying to do at least one buddy read every month this year. So I have a space for each month of the year. This is for the first half of the year. And then the second half, I already did my first buddy read of the year with Neve who is a friend or a mutual from Instagram. We read the 7th volume of ℍ𝕗. It was a reread for me, but still absolutely so crushing of a read. But yeah, we're not going to talk about that. And the next spread here is a series tracking spread, which is like a 4-page spread, except I have like a Dutch door here, and the portion of the page that I cut out here I've used to create my grid spacing guide as well as my ℍ𝕗 rating guide here. So I stuck this in here for now because I wanted to show it in this video, but now I'm just going to move it to the pocket in the back of the journal and then go back here. So there are 2 sections to this, and I think I was planning to write it, but I just haven't gotten to it quite yet. But basically on the other side here, I'm going to be tracking webtoons, and I'm going to be tracking them by the number of seasons that they have and how many of them that I've read. Some of this I've already read the seasons, and I just have to go back and tick up the seasons that I've read, so I know which ones I need to catch up on. And then this portion is going to be for reading manga series, and I'm going to be tracking that by the numbers of volumes in the series. The other side here is going to be for novels and web novels. So I already started reading Once Upon a Broken Heart. I've already DNF'd my first book this year. I can't say that I really enjoyed the first book, but I was a little bit into the second book, and I kept trying to push through. I was listening to it as an audiobook, and I just thought to myself, like, why are you doing that? Like, just move on and DNF it. Read something else. Like, I'm pretty sure there's something else you can find that's a better use of your time. So yes, I have to cross those 2 out because I will not be reading them or listening to them. And yeah, that's the point of this portion of the spread. And then I have my Hall of Fame spread, which started out as like a book bracket spread, but I decided against that. I've seen a lot of people deciding to do like a Hall of Fame page instead. And at the end of the year, I'm just going to stick the covers of all my favorite reads in here. They might be in the same size or maybe different sizes. I just have a blank page to work with and fill in however I choose to. So that is fun, and I look forward to seeing what it looks like at the end of the year. And then my January cover spread that you saw me setting up, and that ends my flip through of my reading journal. I already started working on some of these spreads for what I've been reading so far in January, but that is the end of today's video. I hope you had fun watching it. Are you planning to keep any journals this year, or has this video inspired you to keep any journals this year? Whatever day you find yourself watching this, make it a great one, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.